Hello everyone. Once again welcome to PM Networking. Hope you all are doing great. Guys, today in this video we are going to perform one lab of CCNA. So here in packet tracer you can see this is my topology. Uh, there are some existing configuration, right? And we need to modify the configuration. We need to add some configuration, right? Whatever configuration we need to perform over here in this topology is mentioned here in this file. As you can see over here, suppose you are a network administrator for a company XYZ. Suppose there is one organization XYZ and you are network engineer there. You are network administrator there. And you have been tasked with the following 7 items. So item number 1 is the company has deployed a 10 workstation LAN. That means company need to add one local area network with existing network. So as a network engineer you have to set up DHCP there. You have to configure a static IP address on DHCP server, then you will configure DHCP services there so that the user in that LAN network can get IP address from server. And range of IP address will be from here, right? Range you can see 10.1.x.0/24, and you can consider any value instead of x. Okay, let's say I will use x is equal to 10. After that, configure, okay, these things, these are DHCP configuration. Here we need to configure DHCP scope, so later we will configure this. Task number second will be what? Set up the company NTP and TFTP server. So in the organization, in the XYZ company, you need to set up NTP server and TFTP server. After that, on TFTP server, you have to store the configuration of all routers. After that, task number 3 will be, we need to advertise this network. You are adding this network, this LAN, so definitely you have to advertise that network in the OSPF domain, because here between routers I am running OSPF, right? This is existing configuration on the network. So here on router 1 and router 4, I will add this prefix and this prefix in the OSPF. Then you will perform show IP route on router number 3, and you will check the route is available in the routing table or not. Okay. After that, backup the each router's running configuration to TFTP server. Okay. Then you will take backup of configuration of router on TFTP server. After that, configure each router to connect the NTP server. Okay, so you have to configure NTP on all routers so that routers can synchronize their time with NTP server. After that, run the show clock command. Okay, to verify you will run show clock command. After that, you need to enable CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol, and you will check that CDP is working fine or not. Right, on router number 3 and switch number 0 you have to run so CDP command. After that, last one is create a access list and place them on the appropriate router interface. Here the goal of this ACL is to prevent the PC on the segment which you are going to create LAN from accessing the server 0, server 1 and server 2 via HTTP. So these users should not be able to access server 1 and server 2, the user of LAN. Okay, so we will configure one access list as well. After that, you will check the connectivity. All PCs should be able to ping server, but they will be not able to access HTTP or HTTPS there. Command to prove the ACL are taking hit and blocking the traffic. Okay, so we will verify that ACL is working fine or not as well. Okay, so guys, now let's begin the configuration from here. The first section is connect 10 workstation to switch 2. Okay, in the network here you are able to see the 10 workstation, and this is my switch 0. So now I am going to connect these all computers to switch 0. Okay, let me do first. Okay, now second task is, let me check. First task is done. Now put a static IP address and subnet mask on the DHCP server. From which range? From 10.1. 10.0/24. I am considering X as 0. Okay, now here on this server, I am going to configure one static IP address 10.1.1. Not 1, 10.1. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and let's say default gateway will be 10.1.10.100. That means here on router interface I will configure this IP address. Okay, so let me configure IP on router as well. On this LAN interface, enable config t interface G0/1, say no set interface G0/0/1, right? Say no set and IP address 10.1.10.100 255.255.255.0. Okay guys, I have configured IP address on router interface, and this is the default gateway for these all users. Okay, now if you will check connectivity between your DHCP server and your default gateway, so you can check ping 10.1.1.100, not 1, 10.100. Yes, so connectivity is there between DHCP server and default gateway. Okay, now let me check next configuration here. Okay, so next configuration is use IP range from this network as the LAN subnet. Okay, and configure server 0 as DHCP server that will be assign IP addresses to the host on switch number 0. Okay, so go to server, and this is how you will enable, configure DHCP server there. So let me directly take you over here and go to services, after the DHCP, and here you can see there is one pool. Now I am going to create one new pool over here. So suppose pool name is CCNA, because this is the lab of CCNA. After that, default gateway will be 192.168. Not 10.1.10.100. okay, after that starting IP address 10.1.10.2, because I have configured one IP address statically on this server. Okay, now we need to add this in table and save it. Fine. Okay, let me check that PCs are able to take IP address from DHCP server or not. So click here and click on DHCP. No, DHCP server is not working fine. So here you can see DHCP server by default is off on this server. So let me turn on it. Okay, and now let me check that these machines are getting IP address from DHCP server or not. So yes, now you can see IP address of this machine is 10.1.10.2. In the same way, you will configure, you will assign IP address on all machine from DHCP server. So like this, you can configure IP address on all machines, all PCs. I am not going to assign IP address on all machines, because it is very simple. You will click on the computer, on any computer. After that you will click on the desktop, and in IP configuration you can click on DHCP. Then it will get IP address from DHCP server. Now next task is, see, this is done. Now you need to check connectivity between users. So this is also you can check by running command. Suppose here IP address of PC2 is 10.1.10.3. so I will ping this IP address from here, ping 10.1.10.3. see, I'm able to ping. That means connectivity are there between all computers. Okay, now next task is set up NTP and TFTP server. So use the IP address from 10.1.4.0/24 as the range where NTP and TFTP server will reside. Put a static IP address and subnet mask on NTP server 1 and TFTP server 2. That means server 1 is my NTP and server 2 is my TFTP. Okay, so let me assign one IP address on both server here. Static IP address, so say 10.1.4.0/24 4.1. From this range you need to configure IP address. Subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0, and let's say default gateway is again 10.1.4.100. I will configure this IP address on router interface. In the same way here also I need to configure one IP address on TFTP server. This is my TFTP server 10.1.4. Let's say 2, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and default gateway is 10.1.4.100. Okay, let me configure IP on router interface as well, router LAN interface. Config T interface G0/1, say no set, and IP address 10.1.4.100 255.255.255.0. Done. Okay, let me check the next configuration. After that, click on the server, NTP server, that means server 1, and turn on NTP and configure NTP to show the proper data. Okay, now we need to configure NTP over here. So let me take you on packet tracer again, and on this server let me enable NTP service. So here in the services section you can see there is one NTP option. By default NTP is on, and here we need to set time. So this is May 21, and time is 1:34 p.m. Okay, now fine. So NTP configuration is done, guys. Now let me check the next configuration. Here click on the server 2 and enable TFTP service. Okay, so here on this server I need to enable TFTP service. So again go to services and TFTP, and by default TFTP is also on, and these are the file, right, which stored and at TFTP server. Here I am going to take backup of all routers, backup of running configuration. Okay, now let me check the next configuration over here. What is next configuration? Okay, next configuration is advertise each route, each LAN segment 10.1.10.0 and 10.1.4.0 via OSPF. Advertise this network on router 1 and this network on router 4. Definitely, because this network is connected with this router 4, and this LAN is connected with router 1. So here by default, existing configuration, if you will check, so IP protocol, here you can see I am running which protocol? I am running OSPF 1 and area 0. So in this process I am going to advertise my new LAN. So let me take you in global config mode and say router OSPF process ID 1 and network 10.1.10.0 0.0.255, and let's say area is 0. Okay, in the same way here also I need to advertise one route in OSPF. So router OSPF 1. After that here we need to define network command. So network 10.1.4.0 wildcard mask 0.0.255, and again area is 0. Now you need to check the routing table of router 3 that both route is in the routing table or not, both new network. So IP route OSPF. So here you can see this network is available and this network, both network are available in the routing table of router 3. Okay, now okay, so this is also done. Check routing table of router 3. After that, backup each router's running configuration to TFTP server. Now I need to take backup of all routers running configuration on TFTP server. So let's start from router number 1. So here how I can take backup? By running command copy running configuration into a startup configuration, not a startup configuration, into TFTP server. TFTP server, and here you need to you have to define the address of your TFTP server. So address is 10.1.4.2. this is the IP address, and you can see the name of your file will be r1 config. Okay, so let hit enter over here. So okay, so done. Now let me check that is this file available over here on TFTP server. So yes, you can see over here r1 config. This is backup of my router 1. In the same way I will take backup of router 2 also. So here also I am going to say copy running configuration to TFTP server. After that IP address of TFTP server is 1.10.1.4.2. okay, name is fine. Let me take backup of router 3 as well. Copy running configuration to TFTP. IP address is 10.1. okay, it will take some time now. Till then let me take backup of router 4. Copy running configuration to TFTP server and IP address is 10.1.4.2 and name will be same. Okay, now let me do on R3. Control C. In simulation software it will not work. And on the FTP server, if you will check now, you can see there is file of R1, R2 and R4, right? So on R3 also I need to run same command, copy running configuration to TFTP server. Okay, I will run this command later. Till then let me check the next configuration. Configure each router to connect NTP server. Okay, so for now if you will check clock on this router, so clock, you can see time is not synchronized with NTP server. So here we have to configure this router to synchronize their time with NTP server. For that you will run command NTP server. After that IP address of NTP server is 10.1.4.1. yes, now if you will let me check that I am able to ping TFTP server, NTP server from here or not. 10.1.4.1. yes, I am able to ping. So now you will check, so clock, and still you can see time is not synchronized, so it will take some time in packet tracer. After that you will see time will be synchronized with NTP server. So NTP status, so you can see clock is unsynchronized. So guys, what I can do over here, so clock, let me ping again. yes, I am able to ping. So clock, okay, just wait. Till then let me take backup of router 3. Copy running configuration to TFTP. IP address is 10.1.4.2 and name will be same. Okay, so now on this server if you will check, there will be file of router 3 as well. Here you can see. Okay, now let me check the so clock over here. Still this router is not synchronized their time with NTP server. Let me check. Yes, now you can see time is synchronized. Yes or no? So in packet tracer it is taking some time, but this is how you can configure NTP server on router. Here also I need to run same command, NTP server and then IP address of NTP server. NTP server and IP address is 10.1.4.1. After some time it will synchronize their time with NTP server. Here also let me do same thing, NTP server 10.1.4.1. after that on router 1, config T, NTP server and IP address of NTP server is 10.1.4.1. okay, after some time these all router will synchronize their time with NTP server. Let me check the next configuration. Okay, now you can verify by running command so clock on all routers. After that turn on CDP on each router. So by default I think CDP is disabled there, so that's why I need to enable CDP. If you will run command so CDP neighbor over here, you can see CDP is not enabled. So let me enable CDP. CDP run on all routers and switches. CDP run. Here also router 3, CDP run. Done on router number 4 also. Config T, CDP run. Done. Now on switches as well I need to enable CDP. So let me take you on this switch, config T and say CDP run on this switch also. enable config t and cdp run. Okay, now if you will check clock on router number 3 because it has gone long time, so clock still it has not synchronized their time. Let me ping 10.1.4.1. Yeah, I am able to ping. So clock, it will take some time, right, to synchronize time. This is problem of packet tracer only, no problem. Let me check the next configuration. CDP configuration is done. Now you can verify by running command so cdp neighbor. So let me verify it on router number 1. Here if you will run command so cdp neighbor, are you able to see two neighbor router 2 and switch? Okay, so cdp is also working fine. Next task is create a ACL and place them on the appropriate router interface. The goal of ACL is to prevent PCs on segment 10.1.10.0/24 from accessing server 0, server 1 and server 2 via HTTP. So for now in the packet tracer, if this PC want to access HTTP service, so here if it will type their IP address, you can see, just wait guys, it is taking some time. What is happening? Let me open on other PC. Here I am able to know. Okay, so now I am going to put IP address of any server 10.1. Suppose 10.1. So you can see I am able to access this server, yes or no? So I need to configure access list so that these PCs should not be able to access HTTP services. So on which devices I need to configure access list? We can configure on router 1, we can configure on router on router 2 as well. But as you know, whenever we created extended ACL, we configure it nearest to the source. So I will configure it on router number 1. So if I will configure it on router number 1, definitely these PC can access HTTP server of this server, but these PCs will be not able to access HTTP server service of these two server. Okay, and this is my task only. Here you can see PCs on this LAN from accessing server 0, server 1, server 2 via HTTP. So it is saying to server 0 also you have to deny it, but on the router, for that you have to configure access list on this switch. Okay, so now let me create one access list over here on this router. Config t access list 101. After that, deny. And which type of traffic you want to deny? TCP. After that, source is 10.1.10.0 wildcard mask 0.0.255. After that, you can define what the destination. So destination is, let's say, anything. Destination is any, and equal to, you can use this equal to 80. After that, 443 and access list 101 permit IP any. Okay, and we need to apply this access list on which interface? On G0/0/1. So interface G0/0/1. Here access group, IP access group 101, and direction is, let's say, out. Okay, now if I will access the server here 10.1.4.1. let's say I am trying to access server 1 from here. Just wait, you will see this server is not able to. What happened? Okay, let me try again. It is taking time to open web browser. It's hanging as well. Okay, here I am going to define IP 10.1.4.1. Are you able to see that machine is not able to access server 1. After some time here you will get one error, and let me ping that I am able to ping or not. Here you can see request timeout, right? But if I will ping this IP address, see, ping 10.1.4.1, it will work. Ping will work. What happened? Why ping is not working? Let me check the access list over here. Okay, so on this interface direction should be in. Let me say no over here, and again let me run same command with direction in. So direction will be in over here, not out. So IP root 10.1.4.0 network is available or not, guys? Yes, this network is available, so it should ping. Why it's not working? Let me check access list again. So access list, here I have create one access list, deny this TCP IP address equal to this one and equal to this one, and permit IP any 30. So first it will check this entry. Okay, let me remove the access list from interface. Say no, and let me ping now. Okay, still I am not able to ping, so there was no problem with ACL. Have I defined default gateway over here? Yes, default gateway is fine. Can I ping my, let me check the IP address of this computer, 10.1.10.2, and here default gateway is not assigned here, right? So I think in DHCP DHCP is not providing default gateway. Let me check services, and then DHCP, and where is DHCP? Here it is, and this entry I need to check it. Here default gateway is 10.1.10.100, so it should get default gateway as well. Let me take IP address from DHCP server again. Still I am not getting IP default gateway. So why I am not getting default gateway IP address? Ten dot one dot 10.100. This service I think it's using this entry. So let me check again. Yeah, now I am getting default gateway. Now let me ping. So there is problem with default gateway here, right? 10 dot, yes, now I am getting reply. Now I am going to apply the same ACL over here. Say this time IP access group 101 and direction in. Now let me ping. See, still I am able to ping, but if I will access, HTTP service from here, ACL will block it. Let me show you. 10.1.4.1. See, I'm not getting web page. So guys, configuration is done. After some time here you will get request timeout error. Okay, here you can see request timeout. Okay, so this was the small lab of CCNA. I have configured everything. Okay, now we need to save this file, and you can submit it if you are a student, and you need to perform this lab. You can submit this file to your instructor. Okay guys, bye bye, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit on like button.